this technology impact my career? And the way to measure that is your company getting excited about that technology? Is your company talking about your technology? And the answer to that is also yes. Hello, girls and boys. Kya hal chal? How is it going? So, over the last couple of weeks, I've been thinking a lot about AI. There's so much happening in the world of AI that it's really difficult to wrap our heads around everything that happens, every single week. So today in this video, I have some thoughts on AI. There's a lot of information in this video. It's power packed. We will go to our favorite mind map to explain things. And here's what we'll talk about in this video. Number one, we'll talk about whether AI is a fad, is it a bust or a boom? And I'll give you some factors on how to evaluate new technologies when they pop up. Next, we'll talk about how to start thinking about AI, how to start approaching AI. Then we'll talk about AI in software engineering. And then finally, the famous question, I'm interested in AI, how should I start learning about it? And that's where we'll go to our mind map. And I've created certain personas. Say, if you're a developer, if you're a QA, if you're an operations person, if you are an infrastructure guy, if you're a product owner, Scrum Master, we'll take all of these personas and then we'll talk about some actionable steps, a roadmap that you can start doing right after this video to start learning AI for those streams, for your personality, for your persona. So watch this video till the end, get a piece of pen and paper, you'll need to make notes, lots of it. And one request I have for you, share this video in your network and please subscribe. I checked my YouTube analytics, over 84% of you watching the channel are still not subscribed. So please hit the subscribe button, it helps us a lot. Let's get started. Alright, so let's talk about this. Is AI a bust or a boom? What do I mean by that? I'll give you certain factors on which to evaluate when a new technology pops up on the screen. Number one, who's investing and how much? A very simple rule to this is check where the fangs of the world are investing their money. The Facebooks, Apples, the Metas, the Googles, the Microsofts of the world, where are they investing their money right now? And if you see dev.io, build all these major conferences from these FANG companies, all you will hear is AI, 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 AI. Apple has even called this Apple Intelligence. So you know that these guys are serious about it. They are investing in it. And if you check the news, if you just Google FANG investment in AI, you will get a bunch of investment. All of these guys are investing billions of dollars in this technology. That's one indicator. The second indicator, which is also very important, is okay, these FANGs are investing, but I don't work for a FANG or I don't use the product of these FANGs. I'm more interested in, will this technology impact my career? And the way to measure that is your company getting excited about that technology? Is your company talking about your technology? And the answer to that is also yes. No matter where you're working today, whether it's a startup, whether it's a large enterprise, whether it's a services industry, all executives across the board are talking about AI. They're talking about including AI in their products, in their services, in their portfolio. Every boardroom has got AI as a very visible component. So that's factor number two, checking if the enterprises are talking about it or not. Third factor, which is often misleading, is if there are a lot of startups in this area. Now, startups are a little dangerous thing because they tend to spin up everywhere. But in this particular case, you will see a bunch of startups on AI across the board doing a whole lot of things. But this is a slightly dangerous indicator because startup world is, little flaky. Any new trend, any new Upside, they tend to hoard around it. So take this with a pinch of salt. One more controversial indicator. This new thing, this new technology that you're evaluating, AI in this case, it must not be anti-capitalistic like the decentralized ledgers with blockchain and things like that. It has to be pro-capitalistic. You understand where I'm going with this, right? So I'll leave it at that. So now considering all of this, if you check AI against all of this, let's see, is the FANG investing in it? Yes. Have they started including this in their products and services? Yes. Are enterprises talking about it? Yes. Are startup investments aligned to this? Yes. Is it supporting capitalism? Yes. So, by this logical deduction, AI is something that we need to focus on. So, all things considered, AI could be the next disruptor in our worlds. How to think about AI. So I recently saw a video by MKBHD, Marcus Brownlee. If you don't know about that guy, he's a very, very famous YouTuber. He's one of the biggest tech YouTube reviewers out there. You should definitely check him out. And one of his latest videos is around the title AI the product versus AI the feature. And I really got started thinking about this. It blew my mind. And then I started thinking, what starts off as a product might end up being a feature. I'll repeat this. What starts off as a product might end up being a feature. Let's decode this statement. Let me take you to the kitchen, right? Several years back, there was a phenomenal product called the toaster. What did it used to do? Toast the bread. Then there was another product launched which was called the oven. Used to bake cakes and stuff like that. And then there was a third product which was called the griller. You could grill your chicken on it, you could grill even your toast on it. 3 hugely successful independent products. Today, what are they? In most kitchens, you would have something called an OTG, an oven toaster griller. One product, 3 features, all wrapped together. That's what I'm talking about. Now let's come a little out from the kitchen. Let's think about radio. Independent product, hugely successful, primarily a source of entertainment, songs, whatnot. Modifies to Spotify. Independent product, songs, podcast, all of that stuff. Today, Spotify is, you can think of it like a feature on the phone. Although it's an app, but you understand where I'm going with this. You get the idea. What starts off as a product might end up being a feature. So the next logical question, how the heck do you apply all of this to software engineering? So now let's talk about the next segment, which is how do you think about AI in software engineering? Let me tell you a story back in 2004 and 5, right? I used to work with Siemens PLM, and one of my responsibilities was ClearCase administration. Now, what's ClearCase? Some of you probably don't even know about it. So if you think about GitHub, think of ClearCase as the Stone Age version of GitHub, right? You've probably heard of things like VSS, Visual Source Safe, SVN, Perforce, TFS, Team Foundation Services from Microsoft, the older versions, right? All of these are names of version control systems. Now, ClearCase had a multi-site setup. What did it mean? So there was one development center in Pune, in India, and then 4 development centers in multiple cities in the US. So this was called a multi-site configuration, multiple site configuration. Now, the way ClearCase was configured was, it was in a star topology. What does that mean? Each node can transmit data to any other node. What does that mean? That a code check-in done in Pune has to be reflected in all the 4 development centers. Similarly, a code check-in done in development center 2 also has to be reflected in all the other development centers, right? Because the code has to be in sync across all the places. Every once in a while, dev from one site would not see changes made from another site. Because what had happened was these packets, when they were transmitted over the network was dropping some packets. The network was choppy. What did we have to do? We had to log in to the source site and the target site, figure out what packets were missing, get those packets, export those packets from the source ClearCase, and manually import them in the target. When you import them, they are not automatically in sync because the sequence is broken, right? So then you had to do some massaging to get them in sync. This was a pain. Now imagine doing this for 4 sites. This was a big part of our job, and every Monday morning something or the other would happen and we would do all of this. Then there was ClearCase version upgrades, ClearCase warp syncing, which is the core of ClearCase, making sure those are in sync. So a lot of effort was spent on this. Now imagine doing this at a much larger scale. Today, when you're submitting code in a GitHub or an Azure DevOps, are you even thinking about how this code is syncing across multiple sites? GitHub is operational across the world. Have you ever thought of how the code syncs from one place to the other? A product built into a feature. Today, your organization is probably using an Azure DevOps or a GitLab or something, or a product from Atlassian. Today, source control is one feature in GitLab. Today, source control is one feature in Azure DevOps service line, right? So a product is now a feature. What starts off as a product might end up being a feature. Okay, cool. So how do I start learning AI? What is a roadmap, right? So let's talk about that a little bit. Now, as I said, what's a product today could end up being a feature tomorrow. Why did I bring this up? Because I'm trying to explain to you, do not get intimidated by AI. What is seeming so insurmountable today will just be a feature like source control that you're using without even thinking about it in maybe 6 months to in year or 2 year. So don't get afraid of AI. It will eventually settle down. But because we are now and here, we have to take advantage of this ride coming up so that we learn and it is better for our careers. So let's look at a roadmap on how to start learning about AI for different persona sets. If you're a developer, if you're a QA person, if you're a network guy, and so on and so forth. Let's go to our mind map. So there are 3 personas to learn AI. What do I mean by that? That there are 3 kinds of people who learn AI. And it's very important to identify which kind of a person you are. Let me talk about them. Number 1 is user. This is a person who uses AI. So you could be a user if you're using ChatGPT, if you're using Claude, if you're using Gemini. So that's a user level persona. Then is an implementer level persona, meaning you don't just use ChatGPT, you take ChatGPT and implement something on top of it. Most of us should start with the user category to understand how they work and then move into an implementer category, because that's what we want to do. We want to implement AI in our software engineering domain. Whatever, whether you're a developer, whether you're a QA, an operations network, whatever. So this is our target end state. We want to be an implementer. Some of us will end up being creators of AI, which means, if you're really that good, if you're deep into mathematics, statistics, you could end up writing some machine learning models, you could end up working with OpenAI, stuff like that. So these are the 3 personas of AI. In my opinion, you would start off with the user, You would go to an implementer. Creator is a different breed of people, right? So let's get into it. What's a user persona type? Now let's get a little deeper. So you could be using ChatGPT, could be using DALL-E, Midjourney, Copilot, Perplexity, anything else. So if you are a complete noob, you have no clue what this whole AI thing is about, start from here. Go to ChatGPT and then sign in as an account, create an account and sign up for ChatGPT Plus. It's about $20 a month. You can cancel the subscription after a month. I would recommend keep it up for 1 or 2 months. It's worth the investment. You will learn a ton of it. So sign up for ChatGPT, sign up for ChatGPT Plus, spend a little bit of money. Then learn to write some basic prompts. I'm having a birthday party, give me some ideas, those kind of things which you're seeing on YouTube. Go ahead, experiment. Not just for your work, but for your general life also. I'm planning to go out on a weekend. The place should be 3 to 5 hours from my place. I'm looking for a beach. Can you suggest certain things? Basic stuff like that. Just experiment, just have fun with it. Then read up articles, you watch some videos on how to write good prompts. And experiment that for personal as well as a little bit of professional work, right? So get good at writing prompts because that is going to be the key in your entire journey of AI. So start off as a nuance, learn the basics of prompting, and then get very good at writing good prompts. This is not difficult. You can do this in a couple of days to a week. Okay, once you've done this, then go to DALL-E. So within ChatGPT, you can select the model and then you can select DALL-E and read about what DALL-E can do. DALL-E is a text to image model. So you say, I want a picture of a monkey wearing a red hat. It'll come. Picture of a monkey wearing a red hat, sitting on a tree. Behind there should be mountains with snow. It will generate that image. So do that. Play around with it. Then read some articles, do some research, play around with variations of images. How to create a brushstroke image, how to create a sketch, how to do different kind of resolutions for Instagram, for Facebook, sizes. We are not uploading all of this to your Instagram. If you are in that category, sure, do that. But what we are learning is how a text to image works from a user perspective and what are the variations that I can do with this. You might use it to design your kid's birthday card. Whatever is their famous character, their favorite character, design that, have their picture embedded in, have them shake hands, do all kinds of crazy stuff. Go a little bit crazy with this. Experiment with this. That's DALL-E. Then go to Midjourney. Create an account, do a free one here, sign up to Discord server. Now, I had never used Discord. I was new to it. So it took me, a while to figure out how Discord works, what is the right channel for Midjourney. Midjourney is again text to image, right? So sign up for Discord server, figure out how Discord works, play around with it. There are some free tokens. Use that. You will get a sense of how Midjourney operates. Now, you're not a graphic designer, I understand that. You will not probably be using this professionally. But it will give you a good sense of how DALL-E is producing output versus how Midjourney, which operates through Discord, how that works. And then once you've created one image, ask Midjourney to create 5 variations of that. So play around with that. Okay. Once you've done that, then go to Copilot. Play around again. Then go to something called Perplexity. Create a free account, learn the basics, play around with it, and then give the same prompt on ChatGPT and Perplexity and observe the differences, right? Give it something more tangible. So I want to create a presentation on infrastructure as code. Give me an outline of the presentation. Give the same prompt in ChatGPT, same prompt in Perplexity. you will see the difference in answers, right? Also, always say in the prompt, give me the source of your information. Or you can say, I want to create a presentation on the trends of DevOps in 2025 and beyond. I am a DevOps expert presenting this. Ask me any questions if you have before you start proceeding to write the answers. And they will ask you questions. You answer that. That will give you a more proper answer. So see how, for what purposes to use ChatGPT, for what purpose to use Perplexity. You will get the sense. Try those things. Okay. So once you've done that, anything else that you find interesting on AI, go crazy. So spend, 1 week, 2 week, 3 weeks on this, depending on how crazy you go. So that's your user persona, right? You're using it. Now you're kind of familiar. You understand what is there in the world of AI. Now let's get serious. Come to Implementor. Implementor in SDLC, in software engineering. So if you're a developer, what do? You check out coding assistants like GitHub Copilot. If your organization has already started using it, fantastic. If not, go get a free trial. You can try that. Try some test writing assistants like Codium AI. There are a bunch of them. They help you write unit test. So you can take an open source program or any program that you've written, just write up a simple program and ask these guys to write a unit test for it. See how good they write the unit test. Then go to some cloud native solutions. What is that? AWS has Code Whisperer, Bedrock, bunch of others. I have some links here as well. I will put this entire mind map online. You can download it. If you're on Azure, go to Azure AI Studio. Go to Azure AI Solution. And then for Azure, I have some links here. You can refer to them, using which you can learn more about AI. If you are on the GCP stack, check out Google Gemini, Vertex AI. I have all of these links. You can check them out. So cloud specific native solutions, your coding assistants which plug into your IDE, and your test writing assistants. What else do you find exciting? So that's for a developer. If you're a QA, look at what AI features are coming in your test automation tool. Whether you're using Test Complete, Selenium, whatever, all of these guys have started introducing in AI features. Explore that. Explore AI for test planning, for test creation, for test execution, for test reporting. How is AI changing test reporting? How is AI figuring out what kind of test to execute depending on the scenarios, right? Because it's not always execute test 1 to 15 sequence. Now with AI algorithms, it is becoming smarter. So it can create your AI, your test workflows on the fly. Learn about all of that. Then learn about some low code automated testing tools, right? There's a lot of them in the market now. And then what else is changing in the world? If you are an infra guy, read up about Gen AI for infrastructure as code. What is happening in that area? Read about AI for cloud cost management, because a lot of AI solutions are coming in which talk about how to reduce the cost of your cloud operations. Then a lot of tools from AI cloud providers. So if your organization is using AWS, learn about what is there in AWS, in AI for AWS, specific to your cloud or the features that you use of your cloud. And then what else is changing? So I'm giving you some pointers, right? If you want another video dedicated on the tools, I'll make that as well. If you're a product owner or Scrum Master, there are some Gen AI tools for requirement lifecycle, right? For how to capture requirements, how to refine requirements. AI is coming in that area big as well. Then there are tools for product component dependency management. So product A has 20 components. Each component has got 3 subcomponents. Together they are 35 subcomponents. Which one is dependent on which for this release, These three have to be in sync, things like that. Then there are documentation writers, like Mintify writer. So read about that as well. How can you make your documentation smarter? How can you auto document? Stuff like that. What else is changing? If you're an ops guy, read about how machine learning is happening for event correlation, proactive incident management, proactive service management. And all tools, Splunk, Dynatrace, Datadog, all of these have now got some AI features. Read about them. If you have one of these in your organization, see how you can implement those things. Then read about how do you set up and configure ML models locally on your laptop, in the cloud, or there are some SaaS offerings coming up. You should know about that. What else? If you're a DevOps guy, then all CI/CD tools today are coming up with some sort of AI element here and there. Read about that. What is happening in CI/CD in AI? Then read up about training of ML models for each product and the release. So when you have a model adopted, you will have to retrain it for each product release, and you'll have to create a pipeline for ML models. Start reading about that. So these are the different personas and what you can do. Very important guidelines. Be very careful not to divulge any corporate information on any public LLM or AI site, because that's proprietary information. It should not go out at all. Do this experimentation with your open source project, with something that you've written yourself, those kind of things. No copy pasting of proprietary code. Be very, very careful. Do not put any proprietary information in any AI tool. There are very strict guidelines. When in doubt, do not do it. Very simple guideline. And figure out what AI tools your organization is thinking, planning, doing your POC. Start experimenting with those and raise your hand and say, hey, I want to be involved in that POC. That's how you actually start learning AI, which is relevant to your organization, to your role. Hope this video made sense. I've put together my thoughts on how to start thinking about AI. And in the roadmap, you would have seen I've given you a lot of pointers. Now, I'm even working on a video where I talk about dedicated tools in each one. Let me know in the comments down below if you'd be interested in that. It's something that I'm researching on already, but let me know if that you would want to see that video as well. Talk to me about what kind of AI projects are happening in your